Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Let's Talk with Macy, where we talk about anything and everything. Today we are joined by a political science graduate. But before we get into that, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet subscribed. And yeah, Olavi, welcome to Let's Talk with Macy. And thank you so much for agreeing to come to Let's Talk with Macy. If you can just briefly introduce yourself.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Do I really need to introduce myself?
Yes.
I don't think I'm really known as many political scientists are. But my name is Matheus Olavi. People often confuse my name with my surname, but I still accept both. I studied political science at the University of Namibia. Just maybe a brief explanation of why I did political science. I know we are going to talk about it maybe deep into the interview, but I think we should all be concerned with our livelihoods and what happens in our society. And political science seeks to interrogate most of what happens in our society, the reasons behind it, and also the history behind it, and the actors and the justification of everything that happens in our society. So I think everybody should take interest in political science. So I'm sort of campaigning for and compelling everybody to come to study for political science. In fact, it should be integrated into our education system, isn't it?
No. I'm campaigning for law, not political science. But yeah, okay. So you have explained why you have. But tell me, when you were grade 12, did you know that that's what you wanted? That I wanted to do, but that you knew that political science existed and you were going.
Yes. So I used to read a lot. Those newspapers. There's always a section in the Namibian that's always on opinions. I would always look at Prof. Disho's dictum in the New Era newspaper, and I was so intrigued by the man's his angle of analysis, the way he approaches every event, when he is analyzing any decision making processes, about with regards to President Jacob's administration. He would always write about almost every law that. About almost every law or every decision that President Jacob made, in every scandal that happened during his administration, he would always write an analysis of it. He would also always write about this, about his idea of a good state. How he would like to build a state, how if he was a leader of a state, how he would lead, the policies that he would pursue, the kind of the character of people that he would appoint. So, and these are the things that you would say that okay, if somebody can actually draw up something like this, somebody can think about how they would what they would do as a president, and it's somebody who is not really. I don't think he even dreams of running for president one day. But he has this idea.
He criticizes.
He criticizes, but he also draws his version of it. That it's not just the things that you see with activists with activists and most political scientists that what they know is to criticize, and it's always easy to criticize. Everybody can criticize, but can you build up your own idea in your own ideology that no, this is what I stand for, this is my worldview, and if I am to lead the state or the country of Namibia, this is how we are going to do it.
So you were inspired by Prof. I can't say his name right.
Disho.
In
part, I can't say fully. I've always liked history, and you cannot separate history from political science. You cannot tell me that you like politics but you do not like history. Because how do you explain the world? Yes, even if you are just looking at the budget that the Minister of Finance tabled yesterday in Parliament, you're not just going to look at it and you say, no, the minister drew up this budget, and you need to look at the reasons behind it. Okay, it's behind what is underpinning this budget. Okay, so maybe she might not be the one that drew it up. It came from the last administration. Okay, it came from the last administration. But how is a budget drawn up? Yes. So there are these consultations that take place that the National Planning Commission has to undertake, that the Ministry of Finance itself has to undertake, and also consult the President herself. So these are the things that we need to look into, and you also need to look at the laws and policies that inform everything with regards to the budget, and how maybe you can also compare how people used to make the budget during the colonial times. You can also maybe compare it to how South Africa did their budget. You can also compare it to the United States, how they handle their budget, and how those Senate committees deal with the budget and appropriation bills.
It sounds like a lot, but yeah, a lot of research and reading and criticizing. Why am I saying criticizing? You said you said the word intrigue, or what did you say? At the very first thing when you were defining political science. But I want you to define political science in a layman term. When a grade 12, maybe like you, wants to study political science, but they need to explain it to their grandmother that, okay, granny, I am going to study political science. Basically, how would you tell that to a grandma that doesn't really get political science, or that wouldn't take it?
So the first thing that you should always tackle, the first thing that you should always look out for is what people always misperceive, is that when somebody is going to do political science, you want to become a politician. So if you tell a grandmother that I'm going to do political science, she says, no, my son is going to lie to people. She's going to be corrupt. She's going to order people to die in wars. She's also maybe going to commit corruption, and all these misperceptions that are associated with politicians. Yes. So
Okay.
You need to explain that our grannies understand. Most of them, they were part of the people that were exploited during the liberation struggle. They knew what it looks like not to have freedom. So they know how it looks like for you not to have the right to vote for your own leader. So they also know how it looks like how to live in a country where you're not free. So for you need to approach it from this angle. You tell your grandmother that I'm going to study, and what I'm going to study is associated with politics. Okay, so I'm not going to study to become a politician. For somebody can study political science and not just be associated with politicians at all. But okay, you are going to be concerned with politicians, but you're not going to become a politician yourself. So you have to explain that, no, I just want to understand the processes that are that are entailed in our political system. That's what I want to understand better. I also want to understand political thought. How does a politician come to the decisions that they make? So if you are maybe trying to look at President Donald Trump, how does he come to the decisions that he makes? Is it just spontaneous? Is he informed by a certain philosophy? Is it maybe because of his background, maybe his childhood? Maybe it's his upbringing of him being in a rich family with his father who owned properties in New York and throughout the United States, or is it about him losing his brother at a younger age, and him taking over that mantle of him not being because he was not actually considered to be the heir of his father's wealth. His brother had to die because of alcoholism, and then Donald Trump had to be the one to step up. to take over the family's world. So this is somebody that had to take this responsibility, and then you would be able to understand how this guy is acting in the political arena. How this guy you always have that resolve to go on, even when he is challenged by when he's faced by the fiercest of challenges. So these are the things actually that we are trying to understand, and also there's this aspect of international relations, history, politics, international relations. These are interrelated subjects.
How so?
So so just looking at the world, we do not exist in a vacuum. Namibia is not isolated. So we have a border with Angola, we have a border with Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa, and we need relations with those countries. It's either better, it's either good relations, it can be ugly relations where we are hostile towards one another, or and most of these relationships now are also driven by interest. They are also driven by history. Yes, so they are also driven by the historical context. So you would notice maybe about Namibia being part of some pacts, pacts, like international agreements or treaties.
Right, okay.
You look at the thing like at an international arrangement like SACU. Namibia has been part and parcel of SACU since it was founded in, I think it was 1910.
I'm not sure. I don't know history like that.
And that's why I'm trying now to draw that intersection between history, politics, and international relations. They are more interrelated. In some aspects, you might not even be able to draw that distinction. So Namibia being part of SACU today actually resulted from us being becoming part of SACU when it was founded in those years, and it was during the apartheid regime, and we never left that international arrangement. In fact, if you look at our budget, most of our revenue is coming from SACU. Yes, and now we have those relations, so we still share a good relationship with countries that are part of SACU, and it's mostly underpinned by the historical context of us being colonized by South Africa, but also our liberation struggle context of us all being colonized people, of us all being people that suffered from apartheid, and also the history of colonialism in general. So it's these things. So we have the same interest, and we have the same history, and that's why we are now trying to draw up these international arrangements for us to work together towards these common interests and into common goals.
I'm leaning more towards politics, but I almost asked about politics, but I don't want us to talk deep into politics. But apart from being a political scientist, what can one become if they have studied political science? What can you become apart from being a political scientist? I'm picking research maybe because you guys are doing a lot of research. For you to know about Ram being taking over after the brother had passed away. Did he pass away though?
Yeah,
he passed away, and then he had to take over. And so what can I become then if I study political science apart from being political scientist?
You can become a researcher actually. You can become just a researcher, a consultant, maybe you are giving political advice. There's also an aspect of political science that will lead you into international relations. So you can become a diplomat. Yes, so you can become a diplomat. You can always go into academia. I think you can do that with almost every field. You can also, if you go into diplomacy, diplomacy has a wide range of fields that you can go into. So you can be in So when we do political science, we are not just concentrated on politics or yes. So we are also concentrated on economics also. So you can also be an economic envoy, you can also be a political representative.
Of a party.
You can be of a party, of a country. That's why you see people like President Ginkgo when he was in New York, or when they were attending those conferences in Europe and the United States and Africa at the time of the liberation struggle. He's a political scientist, by the way. Yes.
He studied political scientist. And you're
political science.
He studied political science.
Yeah. So
wait. Before we go into that, so does that mean that everybody that studies political science automatically becomes a political scientist?
No.
How do you then say you're a political scientist?
I think, okay, by conventional wisdom, suggests that for you to be a political scientist, you need a master's or a doctorate in political studies or political science. But now
so he had a master's.
He has a master's and his PhD is in political science.
Okay, let me know. Okay.
Yeah. So where was I? It was about
what you can become when you study political science on diplomacy.
Yes, so you can go into diplomacy. You can go represent your country in other countries, market your country. You can also be a political envoy. People like I was giving the example of President Ginkgo when he was representing SWAPO or SWAPO at the time at the UN in the United States, when he was mobilizing those resources in the human resources and material resources to contribute to the liberation of this nation. You can also go into economics also. So when you understand politics, you also understand the economic aspect of politics and how this subject and these subjects interject with one another. So you would also be looking into maybe how these countries in Europe, so you can maybe go into consultancy, but you can also go into these things of these NGOs that are coming to our countries. Yeah. And you can also look at those companies. I wanted to look at the economic aspect. Those companies, when they come to Africa, they usually want somebody who would connect them to the local politicians and local businessmen. Now, for you as a political scientist, you need to be well versed with the political systems of your country, or not just of your political country, but not just because of your country, but also because of your region. And also of your continent. So when those guys come here, you advise them, this is the person that you want to see. Now, you need these brokers. Some people might call them brokers. So when you come here, I think you would also look into how this case is still in court, the fish rod. Yeah, so you would always need the kind of guy that would connect you to the key politicians.
We are then concluding that they are political what? And what word did you use?
They are just political advisors, or maybe
you use the word envoy or something.
Political envoy is more of somebody that is
like a broker. So when they were in fish rod, they were like connecting, right? The fish rod, they were connecting. So would you then say they are? Or they were?
Some of them, but it was most predominantly people that were lawyers. So political scientists and lawyers, they are predominantly well known. Okay, so they know most of the people. They are so close to the system. They can always connect you to the right people.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can become that. It can be these PA things, administration. We are very good at that.
PA things.
Yeah, administration. Political scientists can do administration very well. You can also look into protocol.
Protocol.
If you are a political scientist, you understand international relations. You understand the importance. In fact, you you embrace the importance of ranks. But now that's some of the political scientists that are not into philosophy and that are questioning how the world works. But but for you, if you are interested in protocol, you are likely to become, if you are a political scientist, you can actually go into that. Because you would know most of the people, you would also appreciate their ranks. You would also know actually most of the processes. So you would even be good at these things of you being the aide de camp, of you just helping these politicians with whatever they need. Yeah. So these are the things that you can do as a political scientist. But there is no limit of what you can do as a political scientist. You can do anything in this world actually.
But not but you can't represent someone in court.
Yeah. Okay. We know a lot about law. Because for us our field is so I can say it's a multidisciplinary field. So you cannot just you cannot be a political scientist without you knowing a bit about law.
So you guys are taught about Namibian law or other laws, international law as well?
We are taught about international law, but within certain contexts. But then
when it relates to you, okay.
Within certain contexts, but you obviously be you obviously be asked to look into maybe how our laws are made, how our legislature works. So you will be able to, if you go to parliament, maybe then you are there maybe as a political advisor, or maybe you are there as these secretaries or
but why do you are undermining people's job.
No, I'm not.
You are saying these PA things, this secret. Oh my god, that's a very good job. Ask, how was it being a first year as a political science student? How was it? Did you manage, or you had maybe second thoughts of choosing another field of study, or how was it?
I never had a doubt. I never I never doubted my decision. So it's a decision that I made when I was in high school, and I stood by it when I was in my first year. I never had any difficulty with the module where you are like, maybe I should give up. So when...
Were you studying at UNAM?
If you are having a problem, because we were students during the time of COVID-19, especially in my first year, the problem is that you are probably likely to get it. Maybe your contact, your relationship with your lecturer, you're getting access to some of the course contents and course outlines and all that. But I don't think I experienced any problem in my first year or my second year. The problems will only come in your fourth year, where you have to balance now.
Tell us.
Because you have to do with your research. Now, it also depends on how serious you take it. Some people, as the research is not so serious, they just chose a topic for them to graduate. The
aim is just to graduate. You guys are taking it deep. What do you mean you are enjoying?
You need to take interest in what you are doing. One of my lecturers would always say that these people that are doing this unethical practice of you having somebody doing your research for doing your research for you. These consultants, I think most of them are also political scientists. They did political science. So you always see that most of these people, we are sending them into the public service or the private sector, and they are going to become leaders one day. And you would go to a conference maybe, and it's being addressed by a student. Now he was putting himself in that position that you are at a conference, it's being addressed by a student, and you are there listening, and you're like, no man, I did not teach this guy. I did not teach this guy. You are just embarrassed. You even wanna shy away. That no man.
I'll ask something off camera. Just remind me about that.
So we are always encouraged to take a serious to take serious initiative and serious interest in the field that we chose. You chose your own field. Nobody forced you.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's basically. I never had any problem.
You're the first student. I mean, you're the first student or graduate from UNAM that administratively nothing. You didn't have any issues with your lecturers not giving your marks on time, your research supervisor not coming through. You didn't.
Wait, I like freedom, especially when I'm dealing with my research.
Yeah.
When I was dealing with my research, I think we were a bit behind. Other students, their supervisors are like, on point. I want this tomorrow, submit. Yes,
you were one of.
So my research supervisor gives you that freedom for you to be a free thinker, for you to think for yourself. He's not going to do things for you, or maybe to guide you towards the best practices. He wants you to find them yourself. So he's not there to spoon feed you. He's there to ensure that you cook that food yourself and then you eat. Yeah.
No challenging modules, nothing. Wow. Okay, and then you graduated. How did you feel as a how did you feel graduating in political science? Like a dream come true?
Yeah. Okay. You knew that you were going to graduate. So
but for us, let's say for me, it was always the thing of your marks are not appearing on your portal, or you have NASWAP is not paying. So you are saying you haven't experienced some of these issues, so I'm just shocked. Like you were not so certain. Like it was just pressure. There was just that module. Like everything was just hell.
I think for research, the marks were not released as soon as possible, but I was not worried.
Oh, stress-free people.
Yeah?
Stress-free people.
Yeah, I was not worried. I knew they were eventually gonna come out. Because they were just not appearing on the system. But they were already sent on those groups, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, that no, this is how much you got, you passed, so you are good. So I have nothing to worry about. So in NASWAP was always paying on time, and also it's not, the onus is not really on you if NASWAP does not pay as soon as possible, because that's their deal with UNAM. For me, I am a NASWAP student. NASWAP will pay. Okay. I did not fail any module. I did not fail any year, so NASWAP will just pay.
So you enrolled for a master's just after your honors. What made you enroll for your master's? Is it because maybe you didn't suffer with your honors, now you're like, okay, no pressure, let me just go with the master's, or okay?
No, I don't think it's much about pressure. No, it's a field itself.
Interest.
Yeah, if you choose to do something that you like, you're not gonna have any regret. You just wanna keep on wanting more and more of it. So it's like when we were young, when you go to Mondudande to Nomoshikund, and then it's sweet. You won't want to just leave. You want to have another class. So yeah. So that's actually the scenario. That's actually how it played out. So I just wanted to have more. I was actually more intrigued by my undergraduate, but I also thought that maybe there is more. Okay, maybe there is more that I don't know. Maybe there is more that still to learn, and there's always more to learn. Okay, so but there is also political science requires better understanding of just every concept, of every process and every system, and maybe the historicity of things that you are going to analyze, and of the whole field. So if you maybe want to understand the global political system, you're not just going to, I don't think undergrad is enough for you to understand all of it. You need extensive knowledge. You have to master the field. So when you are, even when you are going back to the village, when you are going to those bars, or maybe you are just debating with your family, and maybe people are talking about the war on between Russia and Ukraine, and everybody is just saying no, Cold War, what Cold War dynamics. You need to jump in and be like, maybe let's look at it from this angle. You need to be able to jump in. You cannot just be reasoning as an undergraduate for the rest of your life if you are interested in the field. So you need to expand your knowledge.
So okay, I'm gonna ask, is it challenging? How is it going?
It's so far so good.
Oh my god, I want to be like you. What? Why you're so positive on everything? Like
I flourish on positivity.
Oh my god.
I like to be positive about almost everything that's happening in the world. But I'm also pessimistic about certain things, especially when it comes to international relations. But when it comes to my life, I'm very, very positive, very, very optimistic about everything.
Super well. Tell me the secret.
So even when you are okay, I always say this to some of my friends, that even when you are unemployed, you hear these people on TikTok and on social media saying that you should not look like your problems. You should always be happy. You should always be positive. If you are, maybe you want to apply for a scholarship, or you want maybe somebody to fund for your masters, or your what? You are looking for a job. You should be positive, because if you are pessimistic about it, you are going to give up. I'm just telling you. So if you are going to an office and people are telling you that no, I went to that office and they told me that they do not offer those things. They are not offering scholarships this year. This year in fact, after the withdrawal of aid by the United States, we are not able to offer any internship for anybody, or just these things. Okay, somebody is telling you, and for you just already give up and like, nah, I'm not going there. So you never know where your luck is. So you should go to that office and be like, no, they told her that, not me. I should go there myself and hear it for myself. And if they say no, you should go to the next one.
That requires confidence.
You will need to be confident, but okay, you don't always need to be confident.
You do, because how am I approaching an office after they just rejected me?
No, not you necessarily. Maybe somebody else. Oh, let's say they rejected you, but are you just going to end there? Is that the last office that you're going to visit?
Oh, you mean, so I need the confidence then to go to another office, to pull myself up and go?
Not necessarily. You can even go there crying.
Yeah.
Go in there. If you're about to give up, you can even tell them that, hey, guys, I'm about to give up on this thing. So people just want to see you being genuine sometimes. Sometimes you would even go in an office and the scholarship is really not available. There are no funds for them to fund for your studies, or maybe for them to give you an internship or just anything. They have nothing to offer, but that person would say, no, I know who, and then they would recommend. But what if you just gave up in the last office? You did not go to this person, you did not even show them your emotions. But I'm not saying you should go in offices crying. You need to be strong, especially if you're a guy. You cannot be crying in offices.
Men must cry.
People will be embarrassed.
Because we must really stop with this. Men must not cry. Men must just cry if you are feeling sad. But
I don't think if you are going to cry, you should cry in public.
Also, ladies should then cry in public.
No, that's a concept that's associated with them. But it also depends on your understanding. If you believe that you are a strong lady, be strong. If you think that you are into your emotions, then cry. You won't worry.
Okay.
It won't be a big deal actually. But I always encourage men that the world is changing. Yeah. It would require us to regain and maybe to recover. We will have to go back to the drawing board ourselves and just say we need maybe to be like how our grandfathers used to be. I know it's very hard. It's going to be very hard, but you need to be very, very traditional if we are to succeed in life as men.
How traditional do you guys want to be? If two wives, or what do you mean?
No, it's not just about being wise.
It's about what?
Also being wise, I don't know what it denotes. Because to certain people, being wise, it denotes you being well educated. It denotes you being maybe having a good income. But what I'm saying is that there are people that are street smart. So when I was in high school, there was this other guy. He was not really so good at with school. With school, with academics. But this guy was street smart. So this is the kind of guy that you would want to go with. This is the guy that you want to go with when you are maybe buying a second-hand phone. This is the guy that you want on your side. That guy would negotiate that price from 6,000.5, and then he will bring it to 500 to 5K. So he's street smart. He understands the just the dynamics of how people work. So he already knows this guy is here. He wants commission. Okay. So, but I don't know how he does it. He just understands. So this guy probably added 1.5 in commission. Maybe added 2K in commission, but he can agree to 500 in commission. He just understands that. So you should be able to use that to your advantage. You should not just be, you should not just be pushing for education if education you're not so good at it.
So then I must go steal.
You don't always have to steal. In fact, you can ingratiate yourself with people that are that are well positioned. You can actually become a negotiator. You can.
But no. That's just a dream. It doesn't happen.
I think you can succeed even just being on those negotiations, or even just having a small scale company. You can succeed that way. So, or you just need to succeed in your own element. You should not let anybody define that. No, you need to be well educated. You should do this. There is no some sort of procedure that you need to follow, or for you to succeed. You can succeed in your own right.
That's what you mean when you say men must be like their grandfathers.
You should try to be like your grandfather. That man fed his family, including your father, without him being educated actually. And he used his own hands.
But then it wasn't about education. You had the means of production. People relied on farms. It's not farms, but fields.
But most of our granny.
And there are no markets then. It was just you producing it. Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, which means that we live in an elevated world that is offering a lot of opportunities that we can take advantage of. But our grannies were so. I think they were strong men. Not just muscle wise, but also with regards to their mentality. Yes, so they just believe that I'm going to get this. You would see that some of our grandfathers, you would probably get 400, be paid $400 by a Boer. This Boer has been exploiting him maybe for 12 months, but he will just give him 400, go back home. And it was a lot of money actually at the time, but that your grandfather would give maybe about 300 to your to the grandmother, his wife, and then she would keep it, and she would keep that money. She would be using it to sustain the family while he's back in the southern part of the country. So It's difficult, but you just need to man up.
Ewa, so I want to ask, what are you, what is your, is it called a research topic? Research topic is an undergraduate. What are your master research? What is your thesis based on?
This is I'm trying to look into the international relations of local authorities. So, in political science, when you read theories of international relations, almost every theory points out to how the actors in international relations is actually more about the state. It's concentrated around the state itself. Okay? And some other actors, when you look at theories like constructivism or theories like liberalism, they would look into international organizations like the United Nations. They would look into the AU, the SADC, and all those international organizations and institutions like the ICC, the ICJ, and all these institutions. They would also look into maybe the values of how these values are influencing the international relations of a certain state. But what I want to look into is how these local authorities are now involved in international relations. So I think it was just last week when I think Erongo region signed an agreement with a local authority in South Africa. I think it's the province of Cape Town, Eastern Cape.
No idea.
Yeah. So I want to study how justifiable is it for these guys to be involved in international relations. Do they have to? Do they have to approach? Actually, there's actually some sort of contestation. So you would find that there's maybe an international threat that's being conducted within these international relations agreements, but then the national government does not have any knowledge that some of these people traveled. And you would also notice that in certain states, I think there was even an agreement between a city in the United States with a city in China. Now, this city in China is in the side of, I don't know if it's Jianjing, where the United States foreign policy considers that there is a genocide and there is exploitation that is happening in that region. So the United States is actually I think they even have sanctions against the city, against the Chinese government because of that exploitation that they perceive is happening in that province.
And the same opinion.
Yeah, but then there is this city in the United States that has an agreement with that city. So now the question is, how do we justify or signify the involvement of local authorities in international relations? But I just wanted to get because there isn't too much research on this pattern that is happening of paradiplomacy, where you have local authorities getting involved in international relations, which is also it's not traditional of them getting involved in it. So that's what I want to look into. It's still complicated. I'm still putting the pieces together, but I think I have it under control.
Yeah, you always do. So how are you navigating life after graduation and being a student again?
I think I was lucky. Before I graduated, I already had an internship. So I am still doing that internship, and I'm also applying for positions, because you cannot be that complacent that maybe they are going to take me up, or maybe they are going to do this and that. You still have to keep on pushing, you still have to network, you still have to talk to people. You never know where your opportunity is coming from. You still have to do those things. But I think it has been quite stable. I don't think I have anything to complain about yet. It's just that I don't think I have anything to complain about that other people have
balance.
that other people have not complained about.
Oh.
Yeah, so you would look at the plight of teachers, how they are finding it difficult. So for you see how a teacher is coming from the north to attend an interview in Karas region, and then they are not called. Then they have to go to Zambezi. Then Zambezi they are not called again. Then they go to Kunene. So, but for a political science student, you apply for administrative posts, these internships, and most of them are highly concentrated in Windhoek. So if you are in Windhoek, you are likely to get a small thing. And you can also apply for positions outside of Windhoek, and these are more administrative positions, these community liaison positions, development planner. I see them. I did not mention them when I was talking about
development planner is what? Development planner. I know town planning and things. Development. Oh, development. Okay. For a town now.
You can be for a town, but most of them are positioned in constituency. I think every constituency and every regional council in Namibia is a development planner. Yeah, so I think your role is all about this. You are like the government's developmental eye on the ground. So you are more associated with the ministry, maybe the Ministry of Rural and Urban Development, and then you just inform them of the developments on the ground. You also look at the policies that maybe needs to be undertaken. You also need maybe the practices that are maybe people are pushing for. If there is an initiative that you think would maybe create employment and maybe solve some of the water issues or the electrification issues, you would always look into those things, the basic services, and also maybe leadership wise or governance wise. So
it doesn't answer though how you've been navigating. Oh, but you said you are a very positive man. Okay. So the internship that you mentioned that you are doing, is it aligned with what you studied?
So it depends on your area of interest in politics. So for me, I never wanted to be a politician. I don't want to be the kind of guy that goes in front of a crowd and then you are there shouting, or maybe you are defending some practices that you know them all that they are wrong.
I then imply that politicians just go stand there and say the wrong things.
No, not always, but most of the time you have to be on the defensive, or it's either you're on the offensive or you are on the defensive. That's actually how politicians operate. You will always be there, there will always be allegations. People will be attacking you, you will be making your own attacks. It's brutal. I never wanted to be that. I wanted to be more into academia, or maybe as a political analyst.
Why didn't you mention those things?
I'm also interested in I just wanted to be involved in the development of my nation, but not as a politician. I wanted to be more of a technical official. If I can be a development planner, I would really
excel.
I think I would excel. But I also have a good passion for international relations.
Seeing your research topic.
I like international relations. I like how international relations is very eventful. So
eventful. I think of trips.
No. I'm not an SNT guy.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
if we are to be committed to our nation, I would probably, but it also depends on your economic standing. I would probably reject some of those things and say, no, I don't want
Know your worth.
I don't want the SNT, just pay for my
Really?
just pay for my accommodation and my meals and my flight ticket. I'll get back home. I don't want the extras.
But that's SNT. SNT is supposed to cover for your accommodation, meals and things, nothing else.
And then there's always an extra.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
It's for your sustenance.
Uh,
Yeah, so what people do, they do not necessarily calculate how you maybe are going to spend your money. That no, your hotel is this much, or maybe your flight ticket is this much. I think there is a fixed amount. Even when you look at the rates that they released for the national government for EDs and secretary called to cabinet, it's fixed, and then it's calculated per day. So if you are there for 5 days, they will say you are going to get this amount. There is always a leftover. Yeah.
Well, anyways, I just wondered if there is anything else that you want to say that maybe we didn't speak about, or just maybe you as a positive guy sending your positive message to someone out there.
No, I'm not really the kind of guy to motivate somebody.
You've been motivating when you say I'm encouraging. You've been saying I'm encouraging. So okay, then don't motivate, encourage. Then
yeah, you know these things of motivational speaker.
You're not being a motivational speaker. You are basically just, you know what you said? Be like your grandfathers. You know what you said? Man up. That's basic. Are you then calling yourself a motivational speaker because you said that?
No. I think that's just a lesson of life.
Then give.
I think we learn that from almost every interaction that we have with ourselves. So we not just with ourselves, but also with our own parents and people of our community. So I don't really consider it as being part of, it's you being a motivational speaker, those people that are paid to motivate people. But I think what most of the people need to learn is that you need to take interest in politics. You should know what's happening in your country. You should be able to enter those conversations. You should be able to question what your politician is telling you, whether you like him or you love her. It doesn't matter. You should question what they say in every policy. So you should always come up with maybe a cost-benefit analysis of everything that they say, or even the policies that they are proposing, whether it's in parliament or whether they're just saying it out aloud. So we should always look into what those people are saying. Most of them, we elected them into public office. We should hold them to account. We should get involved in politics also. We should not just be looking at it. We should get involved. You should go out to vote. That's the only way that you can hold your politician accountable. You should go out to protest if there is a protest, if there is something that you think or you believe needs to be protested about. You do not always have to go out and prevent people from going in the offices, or maybe these violent or hard-powered political actions. You can even actually do it soft power. You can set up a meeting, you can discuss your politician, your plight, you can discuss with your politician about the needs of your society or your community and how they can do it better. They need it, most of them. They do not understand. They are so in their own bubbles of them. They are ambitious people. They are not just thinking about you today. They are thinking about tomorrow. They are thinking about their future already, and probably doesn't involve you. So you should be able to interject and say, this is how you focus on us, because you are now our leader. You should also be able to actually attend those parliamentary proceedings. You should watch them. They are always being broadcasted. You should also be able to read the news. The Namibian newspaper is highly available now. It's highly accessible. Even if you are in the village, you can always get an app on your phone if you have access to the internet. If you do not, you can listen to the radio early in the morning. They are always talking about the news in the newspapers. You can always also keep listening to the radio. I used to listen to the radio when I was young, and there was this man that was always coming on discussing international conflict, international relations. That is where I get my motivation. That's where I got my motivation. I also still keep a radio. You hear things on radio that you would not read in a newspaper. So you should get involved in politics. You should not just be well versed about politics. Thank you.
Are you sure you don't want to be a politician?
I don't want to be a politician.
But somebody that talks like a politician. Thank you so much, Olavi, for coming. Oh, you said your name is not Olavi, your name is Matheus. But I'm used to Olavi.
You can use it.
I can use it. Thank you so much, Olavi, for coming, and we talk about it. I think we have spoken more on politics than life after graduation, because what we were supposed to talk about was basically life after graduation. But we learned a lot about Trump. We learned a lot about what political science is and what you can become once you study political science. And this is quite an interesting one, and thank you so much for coming. It was lovely, and I hope one day we're not going to talk about life after graduation. We'll talk about politics in general. And yeah, if you haven't yet subscribed, I keep saying this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and also share the video with everyone. Bye.
Thank you.